Jets, I'm going to pull Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback, hello. Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the draft all back.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland's traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick, the 2009 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
Yeah, all right. What's up, everybody? This is GreenBean. Welcome to the 10 o'clock mock. We are excited to be here. An interesting choice by the Twitter poll today. Boring, Tom. Boring, if you will. But we'll see. It's important to do these too, man. I was surprised. I thought we put up some good options, but it is what it is. But hello, everybody. Here we are. I want to say hello from myself, and I want to say hello to you, Mr. Dom C. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Bean. How are you? What's up, chat? Nice to see everybody. Best day of the week, best time of the day. 10 o'clock box. Can't beat it, man.
Mondays, right? Who doesn't love a good Monday, Dom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Amen. Amen.
It's the best thing ever. And I look, it's funny, every week somebody says, "Hey, man, why you got to play all that old shit with those bad picks?" And it's funny because I listen. A lot of times it's just my intro, so I don't even listen to it. Like I'm doing something else while it's on. Today I listened to it, and I'm like, when I made it with Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore and Michael, I was excited. I put the jet, the air raid horn, like, yeah, but it was bad, and now we're going into the future with. And I gotta say, it's like, there's a very real possibility that it's continued, Dom. Like Zach might be a bust. Elijah Moore, we don't know, right?
We don't know. Yeah.
But Elijah Moore hasn't been what we hoped. Last year, Michael Carter kind of fell off, at the end of the year. LaFleur just stopped using him. And it's like, come on. You know what I mean? I got to add one with this year's draft. That's what I got to do.
That's right. Who was the one? I don't know if it was you that had it in the intro. You had Mel Kiper. When Mel Kiper was like, they just clearly don't know what they're doing. Who was that draft pick that he was talking about? That was that Lageman?
That was the Jeff Lageman pick.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Yeah. And interestingly enough, it wasn't the worst pick in the world. It was more about who was there. What's funny about that one is that the guy that he wanted us to pick ended up sucking. You know what I mean? But it's still like it made more sense and all that shit. I'm going to take a look. Do you mind? You want to humor me for a second?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's see what the hell we're talking about here. And then we'll say hello to all you guys in the chat. I see Ant-Man. I see Jolly Rogers here. It's funny. I Google Jeff Lageman, and the first thing that comes up is the 10 biggest mistakes by the New York Jets. And it's funny because he was good.
He wasn't great. That's it. He was okay. He wasn't bad. And again, it predates my real draft nerdiness, so I don't remember who was in the draft, and I don't remember who we passed on, so on and so forth. But I do remember Jeff Lageman as a serviceable player.
Yeah. And look, he came out of UVA, which is another interesting thing. So look, I'll share the screen with you guys real fast, and we'll take a look. Let's do this together. It's draft night, right? It's the Monday night mock. Let's see what the hell Mel Kiper was complaining about. He had many reasons to complain. Can you see this, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, so all right. So Jeff Lageman is right here. So number 14. Look at all these good guys, though, man. Even
Tony Mandrich. Remember Tony Mandrich? He was so sauced up in college.
Yeah. So let's see, who did I forget. I think it was like one of these guys, like yeah, I forget, Joe Wolf or something like that. But look, Steve Atwater's
Yeah,
there.
Atwater's a Hall of Famer.
Yep. Look at that. Andre Rison is there. Bobby Humphrey.
Steve
So,
Walsh.
yeah, Steve Walsh. Right. Look at that. Now what's this? The second round. So Steve Wisniewski.
Look at that. Look at our pick in the second round there.
Where is it? Where are we? Look at
42.
this. Dennis. Oh, and look, never a Pro Bowl, dude. The guy had 13 sacks from the defensive tackle position. Dude, we were just forgotten. Nobody gave two shits about the Jets, man. And that's why it's such a big deal, everybody. What we witnessed last week, or just this previous week on Thursday night, with Joe Klecko finally getting in. Like, he is at the top of a list of players that literally weren't even looked at. Players that had better stats, better seasons than the guys that were perennial Pro Bowlers. A great example is Mo Lewis, man. Everybody likes to talk about the big Drew Bledsoe. Dude, Mo Lewis had better years than both Junior Seau and Derek Thomas. And they're both Hall of Famers, and Mo Lewis is a forgot. He's not even in our Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So I don't even know if we've talked since Thursday. I know you were on and we were chatting a little bit, but listen, a lot of the guys in the chat, not everyone, but a lot of the guys are more of the Generation Y, Generation Z age. What did Joe Klecko getting in mean for you? Because I know how much you and that era of the Jets and Gastineau and Klecko and Marty Lyons and all those guys. I know what they meant for you coming up as a kid as a Jet fan. So what did Klecko mean for you getting in, man?
All right. Yeah, let me say it. All right. Here's what it really means, everybody. And there's 99 viewers in here currently. Gastineau, baby. That's what it looks like to me. That's funny. We'll fly right past it. But for this moment, I want to take a second and appreciate it. What it means is this, guys. Like, again, New York Jets are largely forgotten. Like, Kyle Clifton led the league in tackles 4 times, not one Pro Bowl nod. Mo Lewis, again, better than Derek Thomas, numerous years, better than Junior Seau, numerous years, forgotten, not even looked at. When Parcells came here, they finally started making him a first-team All-Pro because Parcells wasn't going to have it. He's like, what do you mean? Look at this guy, he makes noise and everything. So when Dennis Byrd getting in, guys, it's not just like, hey, the
Klecko.
players. What did I say, Dennis Byrd?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Sorry, thank you. So Klecko, what it means is it's not just about the player. Like, a great player should be in there by all accounts. That's one piece of it. But the bigger piece, Dom, is what it means for this organization. That, like, just because they're not in there doesn't mean that they're not deserving, doesn't mean that they're not true NFL greats. And maybe, just maybe, this creaks the door open to looking at some other guys, because, again, like Ray Lewis, is credited with having the most tackles in a season. Well, guess what? Kyle Clifton had more just before they started, counting it. Yeah. Like, what is that? Yeah. So it's just like all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's like, it's one thing to have a great player that you love on your team. It's another entirely when he's a great in the NFL, right?
Yeah, true.
It's like if Joe Klecko was on the Dallas Cowboys or the Steelers, he's a first ballot. Like, that's how good he was. And because he was on the Jets, it took him 40 extra years or whatever, wherever we are. I mean, he stopped in the 90s, 30 years, 30 extra years for him to get in. So it means a lot, man. And I know a lot, like you said, a lot of you guys are young. And I know I said it in my podcast this week. It's like when somebody says to me, oh, Emerson Boozer. It's like, yeah, I hear you. It doesn't mean anything to me. So I know that Klecko doesn't mean anything to a lot of you guys.
Yeah. So what about this? Let me ask you this then. Now that door has been kind of just cracked open enough, say the Jets come up again. Who's the one guy that you want recognition for? Who's the one guy that all Jets fans, young or old, should be pining to get in through the Veterans Committee?
Well, I know it's not going to happen, but it's Mark Gastineau, and I know why. There's just so
I
much
think,
stacked
yeah,
against.
that's not going to
Right.
happen.
So if that
Unfortunately.
doesn't happen, I would say Mo Lewis. Mo Lewis was a true NFL great. They changed the defense numerous times, 3-4, 4-3. They needed him to be a pass rusher. He gets double-digit sacks. You need him to be a coverage linebacker. He gets 4, 5, 6 interceptions. Like he did anything you needed him to do exceptionally well. And again, once Parcells came here, all of a sudden Mo Lewis is first team All Pro 2 or 3 years in a row. Like what?
Yeah.
Of course he should have been a first team All Pro probably 5, 6, 7 times in his 12-year career, man. So I'd like to see him get in there.
Are you saying that because you have his jersey? I think you are.
Well, no, yeah. I have his jersey because I'm saying that. See, that's close.
Fair enough. Fair
All right,
enough.
let's say hello. I see all my friends in here. We got Vafadoost and Harry and Jolly Roger and Ant Jets and I see Loopy or Luppy and Hanks in here. Look at all these guys. Like I said, Vafadoost, we want Sap. Big Green, we want Carr. I like it.
Oof.
I like it. Well, and that's going to be interesting this coming week. It leaked out in the last 24, 36 hours that the Jets were one of the teams that inquired about Derek Carr. Like, again, Joe Douglas's team, dude, they're tight-lipped. They're not going to say nothing to nobody. That's how they are. That's how they roll. And,
But do you think it was inquiring like, hey, we're interested, here's our offer? Or do you think it was inquiring like Joe Douglas, a good GM, and doing some due diligence?
Well, I think if they did, because up until that point, it was like, why aren't they at least inquiring about Derek? What is it? Will he play here? Will he say no to playing? You need to know. And that leads us to believe that maybe they have a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers, right? Or the Green Bay Packers. So hearing that they've at least looked, it just shows due diligence. It shows that they're not just, letting a good quarterback slide by. Like, check it out, man. At least explore it and see which guy is going to be the best fit. Because I'll tell you what, Derek Carr and losing no picks for $35 million just might be better than Aaron Rodgers losing a first and a third and $45 million, Dom. You know what I mean? It might be. Like, those types of things need to be factored in. And you know what I mean?
I don't know if I can get on board with that yet.
I don't like Derek Carr.
I no. I know that came across that way.
That's what I heard.
I like Derek Carr. I think the gap between where Carr can bring us and where Aaron Rodgers can bring us is substantially big. On the flip side, I don't think. I think the gap where Carr can bring us towards whoever your number 3 is, if it's Jimmy G, Tannehill, is also big. You know what I mean? Right. I just think that there's a clear tier there for me, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're far off. I mean, look, I think that the downside with Aaron Rodgers, man, is that he's older, right? He did have a down year. So is that the beginning of the end? You don't know, right? There's lots of reasons, lots of factors that could contribute.
Yeah.
But is it, and then is he going to play 1 year, 2 years? So there's all those things are important.
Yeah. And listen, as much as I'm on team Aaron Rodgers, like I got to tell you, like there's a little bit of me, maybe this much, maybe a little bit more, that is just dealing, like thinking, oh God, I don't, I'm sure Green Bay's happy to be rid of this headache. Like we're getting a good player, arguably a top 10, top 8 quarterback in the league, still at 38, 39 years old, but we're also getting all the drama of Aaron Rodgers, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah. I imagine it is, right? I imagine it's like, I get it. Like, it's like having that hot girlfriend, like there's years ago, there would be like these memes, right? I mean, they're still out there, of course, but there was this one meme that I saw years ago, man, when I worked for AT&T that made me laugh. And it had this stunningly gorgeous, just perfect woman, young, beautiful, sexy, and, in a bikini or whatever. And it said, someone somewhere is sick and tired of her shit. You know what I mean? And it makes sense. It doesn't, and it goes the other way with men, and it doesn't matter how great something is. Everything brings its batch of negatives with it. And at some point, you're like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Just get out of here. You know what I mean? I don't care.
For sure.
Yeah. So look, now Loopy wants to know what's on. I do have hair. Do you know this? I have a full head of hair, buddy. Look at that. Does it look like I'm bald, Dom?
No, that's what we call grade A bedhead right there.
Yeah. It's just been under a hat all day. What are you gonna do?
Absolutely.
Mo Lake hates the injury. And no, this is Ron. It's not Mo Lake. There's another Mo Lake who's kind of, he's carved out a specific role in our community. This is Ron Mo Lake Loizo. He's a completely different guy. Beanbagger. Love Ron. Totally different guy. Salty Nuts is here. Jonathan Francois. We got Matt Marger. Look at all these guys. This is great. Armin's here. I'll tell you, man.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Wild Wave.
Guys.
I'm telling you. Wild Wave. Joe Grana, Loggeman and Bird were out. Gastineau and Klecko were right. Exactly. They kind of were. But you know what sucks is that Dennis Bird, obviously his career got cut short. But he was like rookie, 7 sacks. And this is from the defensive tackle position. Next year, 13. Next year, 7. Like, he never had a bad year. I mean, and then he got paralyzed. That was his down year. But, who knows what that guy's career would have been. I mean, he was insane. He was so good.
Yeah, big old country boy, man.
Yep.
Big old country boy.
Right. Curly Norman, Dick Chimney's Burner, Gary Fisher, the Mess is in the house, Jin Pak, and so many more. K Yeti and E Boogie. Look at all these guys. Steve and Gotham Green, High Lost Boy, Squirmy Weasel, all these guys. We'll get to this super chat from E Boogie, and we're going to dive into this mock, guys. All right, I'll take this off the board here. E Boogie, thanks, buddy. He says, the New York Jets sack exchange, baby. Yeah, but you got to remember the Jets wasn't in there. The New York
sack exchange.
Yeah. I like that. It's okay to bring that in there. But let me tell you, man, that was when I was a kid. Like when I became a fan, that was our defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like watching them. You get spoiled. It's like having Freeman and Walker and Toon and all these guys and Mickey Schuler and Johnny Hector. You think this is the Jets.
Yeah.
And little did I know, Dom, we're not always going to look like this. We're not always.
Oh, man. I remember being much of an offensive fan as a kid. That I'm a little bit younger than you, not all that much, but enough. So I remember that era, and I don't remember the sack exchange, play in and play out, and year in and year out. But I do remember the offensive pieces. I remember Wesley and Freeman McNeil and. How my dad cursed out Kenny O'Brien every Sunday. Every Sunday he cursed him out.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Because look, I think we're looking back. It's funny. You know Joe Patty? Joe.
Sure.
I was on the phone with Joe Patty. You guys might know him as Joe the Cop. I've had him on here a few times. He and I were talking yesterday about Kenny O. And it's like, we look back, at the time, just like you said, like we were like, this guy, man. But the truth is, you look back, he was a very good quarterback. Now, he was never going to be Dan Marino, but the Jets just never gave him a truly proficient offensive line. Like, he was getting killed. He led the league in sacks almost every year. And it's just because of that, he was throwing wild passes. Al Toon being the amazing receiver he was, is spreading out, and he's getting concussed. And it just everything broke down once again because, Dom, the offensive line is where it's at. Nothing works without it. Nothing. And Kenny O is a victim of that. Matt Marger says down year. He's talking about Rodgers. Absolutely. I mean, a down year for him would literally be the best year we've seen from a Jets quarterback since Vinny. Like,
is it better than 10? Is it better than 10 touchdowns? That's what I want. A bad year has to be better than 10 touchdowns, and that's all we've gotten, right?
Yeah, it's truly amazing, man, because, the Jets, and we, it's become kind of a joke. I mean, we have to make it a joke, Dom, or else we'll cry. But it's like, We haven't seen 10 touchdowns from our quarterback in a long time, and that is sadness.
Yeah,
Sadness.
ridiculous.
Revulsion. Damis. Thank you for the super chat. Is it true that the Jets might trade the 7th round for Aaron? Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what you're talking about. We don't have a 7th round pick this year, which we've never had one in Joe Douglas's tenure, I don't think.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's farmed them off for
right.
anything and everything.
That's right. He's like, look, he creates value out of them. And
he shot one to Pittsburgh with McClendon and got a 6th out of it, and so on and so forth. Or Tampa Bay, I mean, not
and then Avery, same thing with Avery Williamson. He moved up a 7th to a 5th. He did it with what's his name, Jedrick Willis out there in San Francisco. That's what he does. He just uses little things. Says like, hey, let me make my 7th into a 5th. Let me make my 6th into a 4th. Let me do that.
Yeah.
And I like that. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about. And Aaron, who's he talking about? Aaron who? Aaron Donald? Could you imagine?
Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Donald?
Of course, that's what he means, Dom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it's 7 pounds of ayahuasca for Aaron. We're trading 7 pounds of ayahuasca.
7 pounds of weed. Maybe it is. Well, I don't know, Revulsion. Who knows? If we could throw a 7th up there come on. We'd have to build the guy a statue, right? If he got Aaron Rodgers for a 7th round pick in 24, right?
He's bound to retire if we got that lucky.
Yeah, I know. Right. I know. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to bring the mock on. Okay. Let me make sure I got it here.
Good thing is it should be a little shorter, guys. We're not doing any trades. We have that many less polls to argue about. And while Bean pulls that up, I'm going to plead with you guys and ask you kindly, please vote if you can, if you have the means to, if you're on your computer, your laptop, your phone, you're not watching it on the TV. Please vote. Let's get as much intel from you guys as we can.
Right. Thank you, Dom. And what he's talking about, guys, specifically is for each pick, we're gonna place a poll into the chat. If you don't see it, just hit refresh, and it will be there. Okay, for every pick. The faster you vote, and the more you vote, the more accurate we can get this draft to being what it is, representative of you, of the group. So we put out a Twitter poll. I'll let you know what the options were. I'm sure a lot of you guys voted for it. All right, here we go. Here was our options. No trades at all. No preset trades. So what that would mean is we don't go in with any trades, but we can accept trades from the sim. Trade back with Dallas. This is a Dom C, by the way. Trade back with the Cowboys and a 5th for 26 and 58, right? That got the second most votes, Dom. And then the 4th option was to trade up to number 9 to try to get the Paris Johnson, Peter Skoronski, try to make sure we get one of the top tackles, or maybe we change our mind and get somebody else. But we were going to trade up to number 9. So 38% of you guys voted no trades at all. So this is the first time this year that we're going to do it. We've done this a few times last year and the year before and the year before, but this is the first time in the 2023 mock draft season that we're forging ahead with no trades. So whenever there's a trade offered, I'm just going to clean it. All right. We're just going to wipe it off the board. All right. Now look, just to make sure I'm, you got to watch me, dude. I'm a dangerous fella with my mouse and my clicker here.
Yeah.
So
watch
look,
the side, the keyboard, the button on the side, whatever that is, turn it off.
This thing. I know. What the hell is that? I got to get that out of here.
We got Jets, we got 7, we got fast, we're good.
Got Jets, we got 7, we got fast. Dom C says we're a go. Here we go, everybody. Let's draft. And we're a Paris Johnson
first.
Amazeballs. Oh, I want to take that trade. Anyway, I can't. So look at that. Now, just so we can see what happened, you got Paris Johnson. I'll make it bigger for you guys. Dude, Chicago starts with a tackle, Paris Johnson, followed by the edge rusher, Will Anderson, edge Tyree Wilson. The first quarterback is 4 to the Colts, Bryce Young. Miles Murphy, another edge. Will Levis, the second quarterback, followed by Jalen Carter, who I love. Anthony Richardson, the quarterback out of Florida. Then we got quarterback Christian Gonzalez, running back Bijan Robinson, and CJ Stroud. Look at that. He's the first guy taken.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison. So, guys, one of the names I'm going to point out that is not taken yet, Dom, is
good old Peter Skoronsky.
Peter Skoronsky, man.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a poll. We'll start with, remember, we're not even entertaining the trades. Oh, I got to end this poll. All right, shit. Let me see. Okay, so I asked you guys if you believe that Becton is going to come back to form. 76%, Dom, believe he's coming back. What do you think?
I believe it. I believe it. Absolutely. Because if I say anything else, I'll like hate myself. Listen, here's the truth. Here's the truth. I think he absolutely can. I have all the faith in the world. I really, really, from the heart of hearts, not just my fandom, think that the kid was just struck with unbelievable bad luck. 2 separate knee injuries that one didn't pertain to the other one.
Right.
For a kid who never had an injury history in the past. Yes, is he big? Was he carrying too much weight? Is he still carrying too much weight? Probably. But I really, really think that he can get back to it. But on the same token, I'm not going to bank or rely on it,
Right.
So anything that he gives is going to be wonderful, and I'm going to consider gravy on the mashed potatoes.
Oh, and that sounds delicious. Anyway, I'm right there with you. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Amazing. I want to say hello to our buddy Matt O'Leary. Just hey, what's up, gents?
Hey, Matt,
what's
up, buddy?
Look at this guy, huh, Dom? So look, there's a robust conversation going on here about quarterbacks, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna choose a position now. We have obviously we're going to throw offensive tackle in there. Okay. So we'll do that. Now I'm going to throw offensive tackle. As far as the value up top, Dom, what are we seeing? Are we seeing a safety that can be the 13th pick? Are we seeing a defensive tackle? What do you got?
So I think that, listen, is there a safety talented enough to be the 13th pick? Absolutely. Brian Branch from Alabama is a top 5 player in the entire draft in my eyes, on my board. He's very worthy of this pick. I wouldn't be disappointed in the least whatsoever if his name was called when we were on the board and we stuck at 13 and took him. However, do I think that that's going to happen? Probably not. But I think that Brian Branch is probably everyone's 1B. If it's not offensive tackle, it's Brian Branch. So I think you have to throw the safety up there. Now, the other, I'm going to throw a suggestion to you, Bean. I think that the other
receiver. Is that what you're going to say?
I'm going to say wide receiver.
Yep, I feel it too.
I'm going to say wide receiver because I think that just, it's probably going to be a sneaking need for us at some point. We don't know what's happening with Corey Davis. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say that he's not going to be on the Jets in 2023. We still don't know about Braxton Berrios. I think he has a better chance than Corey Davis, but he might be on the outs as well, especially with with our new offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, coming in, has a propensity to start those big slots that can go out and block, and help the run fits and help the run game, So Berrios is really going to be relegated to, 10 personnel situations or, or gadgety plays, which Hackett's not going to run a lot like LaFleur, and special teams. So, they could decide to move on and save $5.5–6 million from that.
Yeah.
So you take that away. Jeff Smith's an unrestricted free agent.
Right.
We're left.
Right. There's an argument to be made.
Yeah.
So look, we have offensive tackle, safety, and wide receiver. Any other position, guard, anybody up here, any other position you think worthy of the 13th pick?
Well, yeah, there is, but I don't think it's positions that we have a
that's
true
right,
need
and
for.
That's inherent to what Mike. Right.
Yeah, edge and cornerback. That's where the talent is in this part of the draft. I think with those three, we're going to be good, Bean.
All right, there it is, guys. We're going to throw those up there. Whoop, let me get that off, and we are off. So the poll is up there. We asked you, which position should we take with our 13th pick? Don't forget to vote, everybody. Get in there.
I'm going to vote.
Now.
I'm going to vote myself.
Nice. So far, 100% says offensive tackle with one vote. Okay, there it is. So first guy, I see New York Sports Wicker Media in the house. Our buddy Watt2K.
What's up, Watt2K?
Good to see you. Now, I want to comment while we're doing that. I want to comment on Tammy's comment here. Tammy, you have to remember something. Number one, if you just look at this year, Renfrew, Waller, they were all hurt. So he didn't have any of them. He didn't have them at the same time. Like none. Like I think it was like after the first 3 or 4 games, it was always some combination. He didn't have all of his weapons. So yes, if you look at the roster, sure, he's got some nice weapons, Devontae Adams and all that, but there was never a time when all of his weapons were there. And again, I just want to point something out about Derek Carr. We look at, just like we did with Zach this year, he's 5-2 and winning, losing, it's not a quarterback specific stat. Of course, you can look at that and all that, but when the quarterback's throwing for 120 yards and they win a 10-7 game, that's not the quarterback that won that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you look at Derek Carr, they were 3-5. So they had 8 games where they were ahead by 14 points or more, 17, and they lost 5 of them. Is that Derek Carr? It can't be. They were up by 14, 17. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, and that's the way it goes. That's kind of been the thing. It's always been that. He's never really had a top-flight offensive line. Look at just 2 years ago. They used a first-round pick on Alex Leatherwood, which 9 out of 10 of us went, ooh, that's an overdraft. They did it. They cut him a year later. So that's the kind of stuff that Derek Carr has been enduring. And again, dude, he's doing his job. Like when we say, oh, he can't compete with the Chiefs, bullshit, man. I don't buy that for a second. He doesn't need to compete with Mahomes. Sauce Gardner needs to compete with Mahomes. Derek Carr just needs to have nice, time-consuming drives that end up in the end zone. We'll be fine. So I hear you, but I respectfully disagree, my wonderful friend. All right, so how's this poll doing?
We have 63 votes so far.
All right, 63,
Let's
not
go.
bad.
Can we
Well,
get up to 75 at least?
I'll tell you what, though, Dom. Unless we get a complete, like everybody else that votes for another position, it's going to be offensive tackle.
It's currently at 67 votes with 75% of the votes at offensive tackle. I think it's safe to assume we're going tackle here.
Right.
So
and we're at 70 and we're now at 76%. So we'll give it 13 more seconds. What are you going to say, Dom?
I said that the question is, if we're going to go tackle, we have to kind of parse through who we want to put up there and who are the real candidates.
Right.
You know,
and
we lost Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson's already off the board. You know,
amazingly way up top, Dom.
Yeah. So I think the 3 easy no-brainer candidates are obviously going to be Peter Skoronski, it's going to be Broderick Jones, and it's going to be Anton Harrison.
Yep. So I'm ending the poll. Offensive tackle ended up with 74. We had 78 votes. I think it's 79 votes. Mm-hmm. So pretty good, guys.
Keep it up. Keep it up. That's what we like to say.
Of you. All right. So we're now going to pick the guys, the actual. All right. So we'll get this over here. We'll bring it up to offensive tackle. And here's what we're looking at. I think Dom is 100% accurate. Let's keep it to the top 3. So we will go with OT. We're going to say Skoronski. I'm going to spell it wrong. Just deal with it. Oh, wait, it's right there. Wait, let me see. Skoronski. I'm still gonna spell it wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Skoronski. Okay, then we got Broderick Jones, and then we're gonna add Anton Harrison. Now, the interesting thing, like a lot of people think obviously it's this guy, but for the team, you might like one better than the other, man. Maybe it's not the consensus top guy. The poll is live. Dom, if I had to ask you, you're going to tell people what to vote for.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best fit for the Jets, if not the most talented athletically?
That's a good question, and it's a good way to pose it. And I think all three of them are good fits. And I think the easiest with these three guys specifically, we can compare, or we can kind of comp them to the year, what I think was that 2019 when Mekhi Becton was drafted, right? Now, there was 4 tackles in that draft that were very highly touted, right? There was Andrew Jones, Mekhi Becton, oh my God,
Anthony Johnson. Yeah, so we had Anthony Thomas,
Andrew Thomas, Mekhi Becton.
Thomas. There we go. We got it together. All right.
The kid from Cleveland.
Yep. We got Jedrick Wills,
and Tristan Wirfs. So, in this case, like Tristan Wirfs was, he was a solid player. There wasn't a lot of holes in this game, but he was a right tackle, right? And then you had the big ceiling on Mekhi Becton, and the kind of not the highest ceiling, but a higher floor, like the kid from Cleveland. What's his name? Why I keep thinking of it? Why can't Jedrick Wills?
Wills. Yeah.
Wills. Right. Jedrick Wills. Right. So in this case, let's look at that draft and look at these guys. I would say that Broderick Jones is your Mekhi Becton. He's the guy that has the highest ceiling. He also has the lowest floor, in my opinion. Anton Harrison, he's your right tackle. And I think he's going to fit in very well at your right tackle. He's he's the Tristan Wirfs of this draft class in the comparison. And Skoronski would be the Willis, a very high floor, probably not the highest ceiling. I like, and those who know me and those who follow me know that I've been screaming from the high heavens. I think Skoronski is my overall tackle number 1 in the class. He's just the cleanest prospect. His game film is solid in every aspect. He anchors good against bull rushes. He's fast enough to pick up the speed rushes on the outside. He has the flexibility and the versatility to play all 5 positions on the line. He's got a little shorter arms and some metrics. Some teams might like with the metrics, but I think he's the cleanest prospect. After that, I really am Anton Harrison is really starting to grow on me. He's by far the best. Too. He's by far the best pass blocker, the best in pass protection of these guys here, probably of the top 4 if you're including Paris Johnson as well. Anton Harrison is the best there. He's also a dominant road grader in the run game, but the thing that he lacks, he doesn't have that killer instinct. You watch Paris Johnson on tape, you watch Broderick Jones on tape. They finish blocks and they run guys into the ground. It's like dangerous. Harrison seems like more of a technician. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's very good. He's very, very stable, very solid. Now, Broderick Jones has a Trent Williams kind of ceiling. He could be like the best. If he reaches his full potential, he could be the best tackle in years to come. But he also has the lowest floor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. And there's reason to believe Broderick Jones might be best served with a year on the bench. And that's unnerving. We're looking for a guy at 13 to be able to come in and look, best case, Becton's there, but we're looking for a guy that in the event Becton can't play for whatever reason, he's in there and we don't miss a beat. We got a guy that can step right in and plug and play. Well, I'm going to tell you, we got 75 votes, and it's Skoronski by a landslide. So we're going to grab him. Okay, we'll do that. Here he comes, everybody. Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Let me get this. Now, while this is happening, again, we're not taking any trades, everybody. I want to just point out that our buddies from the Riding the Bench podcast are here. Now, I'm not sure.
What's up, guys?
I think this is the Colts fan, but I want to say that there's an Eagles fan in the group over there. congratulations for getting there. And I'm terribly sorry, man. I am. I made a video, a short yesterday, Dom, where I just apologized. I said, look, I just want to apologize to Philly fans. I have chosen to root for you. I'm terribly sorry. And it came true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But he says, if you guys draft a wide receiver and the D plays like it did this season, Carr would probably step into the best team he's ever had. Always tough having a guy with his own baggage, media narrative in New York, though. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only thing that concerns me a little bit about Carr is he has been known to be a little tender, a little soft and chewy, right?
Yeah.
Said, maybe New York could negatively impact him. Other than that, man, I have no concerns about his on the field play. None, not a single one. All right, so let's get back to the draft. Okay, hold on. Now we're looking at something here. Let's just take a look at the guys who were just taken. So here's some of the guys that we lost. We lost one of the guys we really like at defensive tackle, Ika, right? He's gone. JL Skinner. So the safeties are peeling off the board. So wide receivers as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Antonio Johnson, who's another guy in the mold of Brian Branch, can kind of fit in and play anywhere along that defensive backfield. He can play linebacker in nickel and dime sets. He's capable of sitting single high, deep center field. He can play that overhang. He can run. He can run like a deer. Yeah. He's somebody that's really, really growing on me.
Yeah, well, look, I want to point out, guys, one of our favorites for this slot at 43 is John Michael Schmitz. He went to the Titans at 41. So we're going to have to rethink this. Now, here's the big board, everybody. We got an edge rusher, Ojulari up top. Then we got linebackers, the next two. And then we got some wide receivers. Lots of people are liking Zay Flowers. I even liked him last year, quite frankly. He decided to stay in school. We got Jervon Dexter at the top of their defensive tackle list. Whether I agree with that or not.
You got to take some of these ratings and kind of with a grain of salt.
Exactly. We don't necessarily have to subscribe to their rating system. We could take their 110th rated defensive tackle if we think he's better than the guy they have over here at 45. So I'm going to throw up some positions. Dom, what are we thinking? I think we should add center, right? We got to consider that.
You know what, Bean? I don't know if there's a center probably that comes off the board this high. I don't think Schmitz goes off the board before our pick. That's my gut instinct. But and not to say I don't like him, I do. But I don't know if they're, Steve Avila is probably the only other guy that's center eligible that I consider here in the second round, and that might be even a little bit of a reach.
Okay. So, all right. So what positions? I'm going to throw center up there nonetheless, because it is a priority if we lose McGovern. So I'm going to put center, wide receiver, defensive tackle, and safety. But should I find a way to put linebacker? Should I take wide receiver off maybe? Or defensive tackle? What are you thinking?
I think that they're all really low-key needs for us, so you can pick your poison.
But the linebackers, there's still some linebackers there I would really be happy with. So
I would probably, honestly, what I would do is I'd probably eliminate safety from this round, because I think the value of the guys that you can get later in the round trumps the value, the defensive tackle, and even the wide receiver to an extent. They drop off a cliff, after the first, after the early pick. So that's just my opinion.
All right. Well, there it goes. Well, look, the good news about your opinion is you're in a position to impact what we do. So there we go. Very important opinion in this particular live stream. So I want to talk about Sam Aiken here. Thank you for the super chat. He says, take an all-pro, Johnson or Porter. Now, I know what you're saying there. Like, sometimes this is what we talk about, best player available. That's kind of where he's leaning. Sometimes you look at the, what's available. You're at a specific spot and you have a rating system and you have needs. So your needs are there, but the guy who is the best player might not be at an immediate need. Now, do you bypass that best player and reach for a need? Sometimes that blows up in your face.
Absolutely.
You got to consider taking the best player. You really do.
Listen, the obvious choice is to take the best player that you have highest in the highest tier of players on your board that also fits a positional need. That's not always the case. McCagnon was one who, always preached, I'm taking the best player available whatsoever. And he would do that for the first round. I mean, how many defensive tackles and defensive ends did he, take from Leo to, then he took 2 safeties back to back because they were his best, best players, so on and so forth. I think that just the way that Joe Douglas drafts, I don't know how much positional need comes into play. I think that, he probably has a tier of guys and he says, okay, I have 1 from this tier. I have 4 from this bottom tier, so I can wait on those 4. Let me take this one. It happens to be wide receiver. It happens to be center or whatever it is. I think he's going to, or he shows that he's going to take the best player available. Now, he's not going to McCagnon and take, probably 2 safeties in a row or take a quarterback and then not take another offensive weapon.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
He leans a little bit toward the need up top. Like, he's taking the best player, but I mean, look, we saw it last year. Technically speaking, cornerback was not as big of a need as edge, but Sauce in their mind was the far and away the best player, and they took him, So, I think he considers need up top, but we've seen in the back end of the draft, we've seen him take, safety, cornerback, safety, corner, like we've seen it. And then defensive tackle, Jonathan Marshall, like we've seen it. He's taken the best athlete, the best possible player.
That's right.
We've seen it all 3 years. He's done exactly that.
Michael Clemens is a perfect example too. No one even knew who Michael Clemens was. But just like you said, he took the best athlete that he thought was on the board at that time that could play, that could serve a purpose and play a role. And look what he did,
Right. So Kalijah Cansey is still there.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I know, but he's still there. So, so far, it looks like linebackers kind of running away. We have offensive center and defensive tackle are in the 20s. And wide receiver, so there's kind of a log jam with the other 3, and linebackers up there at 39%. We have 61 votes. If you are one of the people that don't think linebackers should be the pick, get your vote in there now, man. This is your last chance. We got 200 of you in here. Only 61 voted so far, 63 now. If you want that center, if you want that defensive tackle or even wide receiver, it's important that you get your vote in. Now, Dark Soldier wants to know if I'm still rocking the Tribe Called Quest shirt. Not tonight. Obviously, I still have it. It's not here. But this is just my my comfy, Dom. This is my comfy hoodie. See this? Oh, so fluffy. The inside's all fluffy. And yeah, this is the good stuff. Yeah. I love that Tribe Called Quest hoodie. I have another one too. I'll break it out for you, Dark Soldier. Next video, you'll see I'll be wearing a black one. Totally different Tribe Called Quest. Who doesn't love Tribe Called Quest? Everybody, if you don't know, they just got nominated to enter the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. Big stuff.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah. My wife is a huge Tribe Called Quest fan. To the tune of, like, when she listens to like Pandora and everything, she has Abstract Radio, who's the main writer. So she loves Tribe Called Quest. Anyway, that's what it is. But okay, we got 72 votes. It's getting closer. We got 25 and 25 for center and defensive tackle. Wide receiver dipped to 15, and
linebacker looks like it's still,
it's holding. Yeah. It's holding. So we'll give it 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
get a few comments up here. Yeah, Billy says the only reason I'm rooting for the Eagles is because they're green. I know that's what it boiled down to. You know what it did for me? Like, honestly, I don't usually do this. I could give two shits about my friends being happy in the NFL world. I don't care. Like, honestly, if my hatred for somebody supersedes, I don't care. If you're going to be unhappy, I'm sorry, buddy. I got to root against you. But this year, it's like it was so benign. Like the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and I don't hate them or anything, you know. But the Eagles are the Eagles. I don't really like them one way or the other. But dude, we lost Dom C there. There he is.
Nope,
okay,
I'm here.
All right. But I have to say that I have two really good friends that are Eagles fans, and I don't know it. It worked, and the green and my two buddies. I just wanted my friends to be happy. And obviously, that didn't work. So,
yeah, my brother-in-law is a huge Eagles fan, and I said, "Fuck him! I'm rooting for the Chiefs, and anything to make him unhappy." I'm kidding.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to end the poll no matter where it is. We got the linebacker at offensive centers at 31. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds to just see if it can happen. I'm going to see.
Oh, wow. Look at that. We got more votes, and it all went towards the center.
Only because it's so close. 30 more seconds, Dom. That's it. It's 10:52. We're going to, when it trips over to 10:53, get your votes in, guys. We got 85 votes. It's 33-32. Linebacker to center. And they're off. And they're coming down the home stretch. It's like a horse race, Tom.
I'm watching it live. I can't. The suspense is killing me here.
Oh my
God, the center is taking the lead.
Center took the lead. Amazeballs. Amazing. All right, come on, linebacker crew. You got to, don't go down. Don't go down without swinging. Let's go. Dig. Let's do it. We are 1% off. We'll give it 10 more seconds. We got 89 votes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, tied 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm ending it right now.
And it's freaking tied. No, the linebackers took it.
Linebacker squeaks it out. Amazing. 93 votes. Look at that.
I gotta tell you, I'm happy. Not because I don't think we need a center. I just think for, if we're going to utilize this second round pick and not trade it, like the center, there's no real value here. I think we'll be able to.
Here we go. You think Tutus should be? It's Toto, right?
Toto, and no,
yeah.
I don't.
You think he should be up? I don't think so either, right? I think Sanders is up there. We got Jack Campbell, right?
Sanders is my favorite linebacker in the entire class. Toto is a guy who has all the athleticism and traits that you want out of a player, but he has not put it together.
Okay.
He and that's just my opinion on him. Toto, he kind of goes dark in the biggest spots and in the biggest games, and it's just there's something about him that just I didn't like. And I've watched film on him from last year to this year. He got progressively worse this year. I think comparatively, I think Sanders is 10 times the NFL prospect that Toto is.
All right. So we got Sanders up there. I'm going to put Jack Campbell up there. I also like Papo and Ivan Pace, even though I do like Sewell as well. I'm going to skip him and I'm going to throw Pace.
Yeah. Papo is he's another prospect that I like a lot. He's as fast as lightning, quick, loose hips. Of the guys that we're talking about, he's definitely the one that could fill that off-ball will linebacker if we didn't bring Quan back. The other guys are going to be, Pace is probably going to be a Mike. Jack Campbell is definitely a middle linebacker, and Sanders is probably more of a strong side or maybe even a middle linebacker himself. Papo's the one who can cover. He can cover like a fiend. He's can slip and duck and chase and tackle in space and so on and so forth. So you put a good variety of linebackers up there to choose from.
Nice. Now I want to welcome back William Sprague. I just want to make this public. We talked about it in the game stream yesterday. His wife, Dom, his wife commented in the chat and said, "Can you please unblock my husband, William Sprague?" Now I'm of the school of thought that was really William. No, but anyway, it was his wife's account. But either way, I'm like, I didn't block him. I go into my blocked guys, and there he is, William Sprague. I think it might have been Wat2K. That's what I think. I think Wat2K blocked him one day. But William, welcome back, my good friend. It's nice to have you. We will not be blocking you anytime soon unless you become a real peckerhead. But I don't see it on you. I don't think so.
Yeah, and so, William, I talked about Antonio Johnson a little bit before. He's a prospect that's kind of slowly climbing up my board, and someone who I think he's going to make an NFL team very happy. Now, do I think he'll be there at 45 or when we pick here? I don't. I think he's a guy that could sneak up into the back end of the first round, especially to a team like Buffalo, who might have to replace 2 safeties. Kansas City might have to replace a safety. I mean, he's a perfect fit for those kind of teams.
Okay. So, guys, the poll is up. I want you to know our choices for linebacker. That's the position we've chosen. Looking at who's available, the need, everything, and we've chosen linebacker. So we have Drew Sanders, we have Jack Campbell, Owen Papo, and Ivan Pace Jr. A nice wide scope of linebackers. Currently, Drew Sanders is smacking the other guys around with 62%. There are 53 votes in. We're going to give it one more minute, and we're going to ride this one, okay? So 1 minute, get your votes in, and we'll see who wins with the linebacker group.
And Joe Grano, I'm gonna pick on his chat right here. He's talking about round 4. I think you mean Henley, Diane Henley. The linebacker will be a steal. He absolutely will, and you'll get to know a little bit more about him in the next week or so.
Yep, Dom's got some good content coming for you guys over the next week. We have, I think, Wednesday we'll have who was it? Who the hell we do?
I did a little breakdown on Trey Palmer, wide receiver from Nebraska.
Right. So the beanbaggers, if you're a beanbagger, you're going to get the breakdown first. You'll be getting that tomorrow morning. And then everybody else will be getting the Trey Palmer breakdown probably on Wednesday. So anyway, and like you said, Henley's the next one coming. And we're going to continue to give you guys as much as we can in the ways of prospect breakdowns.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, Tammy says the Jets need a tackle. Well, the good thing is, Tammy, we got one. So we're doing our part, aren't we? We're doing our part. Cadoza, what's up, Cadoza? He says Sauce is the best cornerback prospect since Revis. I agree. I like him.
Some might say even better. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah.
But.
Well, that's right. Is let's just hope that he continues. That's all we want, right? Just continue. We don't want to see another Sheldon Richardson. We're defensive rookie of the year, and then he's caught the next year driving 110 miles an hour with a 11-year-old kid in the car with a bunch of drugs. Like, let's just hope it doesn't go that way. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking. All right, I'm going to end the poll. We got 74 votes. Not bad, everybody. Good. I'm proud of you guys. We're staying strong. Drew Sanders is going to run away with this one with 58%. So here he comes, everybody. We got ourselves a linebacker. I'll get the big board up here. And here we come. Oh, Steve Avila, look right there. Right there.
Jeff Smith and Owen Papo, another guy that we talked about, and the chat seemed to like a lot too. He's a really good ball player. And Steve Avila is something special. He's going to be a very good pro. I personally, the only knock I have on Avila is I don't know how well he's schematically a fit for the Jets. I mean, he's much more of a power gap style interior offensive lineman. Not to say he can't move in space, but it's just not his strong point.
Yeah, well, let me show you guys this. If you haven't seen this, everybody, we're gonna take a little just so you know, I don't want to do it actually. Nope. I was going to show the interview with Steve Avila. But anyway, let's pick our next position. Let's take a look at the big board real quick, everybody. Here's what we're looking at. We got safety Jair Brown, who I don't hate. Kalijah Cansey's still here, everybody. Come on, what's going on here?
That is a travesty that he's on the board at round 3. One of my favorites in the class. I know I've said that. I'm sorry?
No, something's up with my computer here. It's like it's not responding the way I want it to. I can't enlarge in it for you right now for some reason, everybody. Hopefully, can you guys read that? Is that
Yes.
You can still read it, right? Okay.
We can.
Yeah, it's just not letting me expand. I don't know why. And I get nervous with moving it around. You know, I'll end up going to the back page and everything. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make another poll, but here, that's the big board. All right. So look, we got guys, we got a tight end up top, Tucker Kraft. I don't know if we're going to be going that route, but look, we have safety Jair Brown. We really should be considering safety, defensive tackle. These are guys that we want to get. At the same time, Dom, we cannot go all defense. So we just went tackle, we went linebacker. We got to make sure that we balance this. We got to just be careful. Make sure that we have our presence of mind because we're in danger. You know, we end up bolstering the defense and then we don't do much for the offense. So we got to make sure just that we're keeping that in mind. I'll take a look at the interior offensive lineman real quick. Whippler's still there. Stromberg's still there. So we got some nice options at the center.
Joe Tippmann is another guy that he's climbing up draft boards very quick. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't end up at the end of the second round or right around this area. He's a real big, heavy-handed, blocker.
And who was that? I'm sorry. Who just
Joe Tippmann, the center from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Tippmann. Yep,
there he is. All right, so Tippmann. All right, so we got some nice guards up here. Okay, Voorhees is one, Broker. These are
Ekiyor is guard center, flexible. He actually spent a lot of time playing center at the Senior Bowl. There you go.
There it is. All right, so we got this is what we're looking at. There's Trey Palmer right there. Trey Palmer. All right. So where are we? We are at pick. What the hell? Where are we here?
74.
All right, here's what we got. So we have 74. After this, we'll have pick 112, 145, and 185. So I'm going to go ahead and do this poll here. We'll throw up some positions. Definitely. Defensive tackle and safety. They're going to be on there, Dom. I have to say.
Yep.
Defensive tackle. We have safety. We'll throw wide receiver up there, or we think we should just go center and guard, or
you can do interior offensive line and
then we'll figure it out. Once
you could take 2 guards, 2 centers if that's the avenue that goes. However it goes.
Perfect. All right, there it is. The poll is up. We have defensive tackle, safety, wide receiver, interior offensive lineman. If interior offensive lineman wins, like Dom just said, we'll get a nice smorgasbord of guards and centers. We'll make it real nice for you. Yeah. We'll see who's there. But there are some definite options that might even be plug and play, like Whippler, maybe Voorhees. These guys are, there's a lot to like about these guys, and they might be able to just come in and replace McGovern, which is nice.
Now, also remember, chat, this is what is this? PFN or the Football Network? Which
is PFN, yeah, Pro Football Network.
Yeah. So we know everyone's kind of used to this mock, and who's going to be there and who shouldn't be there. I'm telling you this right now. Kalijah Cansey still on the board in round 3 is a travesty.
Right.
He is first round talent. I'm not trying to sway you, but I'm telling you
but it's interesting because since we talked about that last week, right? Mm-hmm. Now I've been doing some defensive tackle work, and literally everywhere I've looked with Cansey, the furthest back I've seen him is early second. I'm sorry, mid second. Like that's the furthest back I've seen him. So again, here we are in the third, pick 74. We need a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And we got potentially a first round talent that slid back. It happens every draft.
This
So,
is the round that I was dreading because I know how much we need a center, and I love Luke Whippler from Ohio State. I think he's a guy in the mold of Nick Mangold, where, and not just because they both went to Ohio State, but you can just draft him and you can plug and play him and not have to worry about him. Not going to be the best, definitely not going to be even the worst, like a straight B+ student all across the board. Yeah. So he would be there. The safeties at this level, like we talked about the value of the safeties, this is where they're coming off now,
Okay.
But
yep. So look, we got lots of guys that we like. I mean, the top 5, well, 4, all of them. These are guys, every single one of these guys up here we've discussed. And generally speaking, we like them at least to some degree. Jair Brown, Christopher Smith, Trey Dean, Ronnie Hickman, Rashad Torrance, Jamie Robinson. Lots of potential here. Now, the only thing I would say is this might lead you. Now, this is their ratings, and we try not to lean on them because we know Jamie Robinson is going to be there. So because we are using the sim. That said, we might, if we do choose defensive tackle, we can feel pretty confident that we might be able to get a safety with the next pick, which is nice. So these are the safeties that are up there. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to bring you. I showed you defensive tackle, but just very quickly, Byron Young. That's a guy we got a good look at down at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, Mozzie Smith is another guy who's probably not going to be on the board at this point. And he's the Keanu Benton, another guy. He was a Senior Bowl standout. I mean, there's some good players here. Who else have we got? Oh, we got the offensive lineman. That's right.
Yep. So we'll go with some centers again. We just talked about this. Whippler and Stromberg, Oluwatimi. He had
Tippmann,
a rough go at the Senior Bowl, but he was
hot. He was hot and cold. There's some reps he looked like amazing, and then some is just like he looked like uninterested and just gave up.
Forsyth, there's the Tippmann, you guy that you were talking about. So lots of guys here at the center position. Let's take a look at some guards.
Yeah.
Again, Voorhees. There was been no movement here, so we're good. Broker, Kipper.
Yeah.
Lots of talent here. Let me take a look at the poll. William Sprague, thank you, buddy. Thank you for the super chat.
Are we at 75? We are.
Let me see here. We are at 62 votes. Currently, safety. Oh, no. Interior offensive line is ahead 37%. The next one is safety at 29%. Get your votes in, everybody.
Come on, guys. Let's get up to 70 at least. We need 70. Get 8 more people. Get out there and vote. I feel like I'm pushing the presidency here.
No. He had drugs in the car, busted knuckles. Maybe he had guns too. There was definitely drugs in the car. Now, when I say drugs, people are going to go, weed isn't a drug. But he, it smelled of weed. So he was smoking weed in the car with the kid.
Who's that?
That was before the whole wave of legalization and everything. So
who are you talking about?
Sheldon Richardson. He said guns, not drugs. I don't remember the guns being in the car. I mean, I trust you, busted, but either way, I just don't want to see Sauce get into any of those jams. Him or Garrett Wilson. That's why I get so concerned. It's funny. I got a text from somebody, a loyal listener. They screenshotted me talking about Sauce's wearing sunglasses inside. And I was saying, I'm just nervous. I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to see him get too cool and kind of read his own press. And they sent me the screenshot and said, come on, man, lighten up. What's with you? I'm like, I know I'm old. I get it. I hear me. Believe me, I can hear the words I say. But I'm still nervous, Dom. I can't help it. I want these guys to be good boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. K Yeti, while we're still waiting for a couple more votes, come on, guys. I'm going to answer your question here in the chat. K Yeti says, Dom, Voorhees was a true guard, correct? No center capability. So Voorhees is from USC and very much in the mold of Elijah Vera Tucker. He played a year at right guard. He played a year at left tackle. And last year he moved into left guard. And the purpose or the mindset around that was that everyone figured that he and his brain camp decided or figured that he was going to play interior at the next level. So why not put some tape in the season? They had capable offensive linemen. USC puts out their offensive line coach does a good job year in and year out. They're always producing guys who are players. So Andrew Voorhees has versatility all along the offensive line. I can't say that I honestly ever seen him in college play any center. I'm not saying that he can't. He's big, though. He's 6'5", probably 325, 330. So I would guess not. You know, he's probably going to be a guard only at the next level with like that AVT trait where, you know, in a pinch, you need him to play outside. He can do it because he did it in college.
Got it. I want to say hello to our good buddy, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. You guys know and love Ryan. We got a Ryan and O'Leary in here. It's nice to see.
I'm telling you,
right?
Big hitters today. Big
This
hitters.
Right. We got some big hitters in here. I'm waiting for Boy Green and Buffalo. Where are those guys? Maybe some Jets chaos. We have Wat2K in the house. Not a bad night. Not a bad night.
Oh, look at this. We're at 74 votes, guys. We're tied. We are tied.
Oh, there's the question. Okay. We're tied. Look at that. We are tied.
One more vote could break the tie.
That's right. And we'll give it 10 seconds to see how we do it. 10, 9. It's between safety and interior offensive line. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Get your votes in. 2.
Come on.
1. And I'm ending the poll. Let's see where it ended.
Tied.
It's a friggin' tie. It's a tie. All right. So, Dom, I'm going to give you the tiebreaker over here. Okay.
Oh, man.
Just grab it. It's between safety and interior offensive line.
I'm going to, I'm not going to hesitate, and I'm going to take the interior offensive line. I just think that the value of safety, again, is deeper than the value of definitely center eligible guys.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take 2 of each. I mean, it seems safe to do that. We're going to put Whippler and Stromberg up there. Okay. I'm going to do that. You agree?
Yeah, maybe. I have, like I said, I have a real strong feeling and liking to Joe Tippmann, but you want to take Stromberg. I'm not going to argue with that either.
Okay. Let's do that.
And then Voorhees for sure. And probably Nick Broker. He's the other guard that I think is
yeah, I like Broker too. I was looking at him yesterday. Anyway,
he's got a little bit of tackle. You know, he's another guy that can kick outside to tackle. Thing that I don't like about Broker is, you know, he tends to be a little bit slow off the line and gets beat across his face inside all the time. Not good for a guard. The one thing you never want to do is give up your inside.
Nope. All right, guys, we got Whippler, Stromberg, Voorhees, and Broker coming your way. It's out there. It's live. Get your votes in. Get your votes in right now. Joe Grana, you got your wish, buddy. I see All Gas, No Gas saying he's folding laundry right now. He's appreciating the company. That's good. I'm glad we could do that for you. Tammy's in the Voorhees camp, as is Joe Grana. Voorhees can start all 4 positions, he says. All right. There you go.
So, Slim, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is real or a bot, but I see the same post getting put up a bunch of times here.
What is it? By who?
Slim.
Face orange, biting nails. What the hell is that? Let me see.
I got no idea, but let me go vote. Come on, guys. There's only 40 votes out here. Let's go. I have a feeling I know who's going to win anyway.
Yeah, I do too.
Lawrence Wapples, Ohio State centers, last 10 to 11 years. Yeah, goddamn right.
That's right. So, guys, I want to remind you, number 1, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps the channel a great deal. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, that is just about the best thing you can do for the channel. In addition to that, I am 2 members away in the Streambeaners for adding some new emojis. Again, YouTube, they just don't let me add it until I get members. So we're at our cap. If 2 of you join the membership. I can add some new fun emojis. I got them all on deck for you guys. Some were made by Fiverr, some were made by Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, and some were made by my wife and I. All sorts of fun stuff. So again, if you would consider joining the channel, you get the emojis. We are going to do a private mock with just the StreamBeaners as well as at some point. So lots and lots of fun to be had. If you're considering it, now would be a great time. And I want to say thank you in advance. It helps the channel a great deal. All right, let's see. Ryan's talking versatility, Dom. That's what he likes.
Listen, we got one already, Ryan, with Skoronski, who can legitimately play across the line all 5 spots. You know,
Yep.
Center's probably not going to be his landing point in the NFL, but in a pinch, he can get back there and you know, play it securely. But I think he's got the guard tackle flexibility that we have. Got the other guy on here, Andrew Voorhees, that we're talking about up for this pick, has the same flexibility. Now, Whippler is a pure center. Stromberg, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I've watched any tape of Stromberg where he wasn't at center. I'm not saying that he can't, but I think he's probably a pure center. And Broker has a little bit of versatility, although poor Nick Broker is getting zero love from the chat.
Yeah, interesting. Now, Slim, real quick, Slim, we can see it. I can't see it on the actual live streaming platform that I'm using, but when I switch over to YouTube, which is where I add the polls, I can see the emoji. It's like a guy, it's like a mouth biting fingernails. So we get it. And so he's a real person. He's not a bot there, Dom.
No disrespect. I just I didn't want to, just asking.
Just checking.
That's right.
Ryan says he missed the first 2 rounds and he loves Skoronski and Sanders. There you go.
Me too. Me too. You got 2 first-round talents in the first and second round. Can't argue.
Right.
And listen, Skoronski's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You know, you hear a bevy of different things that there's no chance he's going to be back be back when we pick at 13. And then you say, you're going to have teams that don't even have him on the board as a tackle because he doesn't meet the the measurables, the wingspan and the arm length, so on and so forth. So I put all that stuff. I think it's all rubbish. I think you watch the guy as he plays the game on film, and he's the cleanest prospect in the tackle class.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to give it 30 seconds real quick. We're just looking at some notes on these guys. For some of you, maybe you haven't had the opportunity to look at these fellas. Here's Luke Whippler. I just put Voorhees up there. Athleticism is clearly Whippler's most proficient physical trait. I haven't even looked at the poll here. How are we doing?
It's a runaway. It's the first real runaway that we've had since Skoronski was a runaway.
Wow, Broker just got pushed off. Look at that.
Nobody likes him.
0.
Not a 1 vote.
Not a single vote. All right, we're gonna give it 10 more seconds, everybody. It's there's almost no need in doing that unless 50 of you vote right now.
Yeah, go ahead and kill it.
Yep, I'm gonna kill this one. All right.
Whippler's got it. And it's not a bad pick here, guys. It's really not. Like if he was our 3rd round choice and he can step in and play center for the next couple years, next decade. And we're going to be fine because he's not scheme specific. He's strong enough to anchor down and play in a gap power scheme. He can get out and move in space that the zone calls for our center to do. So we're all good.
All right, guys. So we just grabbed our center, Luke Whippler, versatility, athleticism. We got it all. All right, so now we got a tackle, a center, and a linebacker. Where will we go? Here's the big board, everybody. We got a running back, Tank Bigsby, up top. We got another offensive tackle, Bergeron, that a lot of people like, actually. There's Stromberg, Keanu Benton, defensive tackle. We never grabbed our defensive tackle, did we?
No, that was like I said, travesty. We passed on Collage of Cancer when we had the chance.
All right, let's see who's there at defensive tackle. I like both of these guys, though.
Right.
Right.
It's funny. Jackson Player Jackson Player is he flies under the radar because he played next to Siaki Ika, and that guy attracted all the the bright lights and the big stars. But when you go to watch Siaki Ika on film, it's hard not to see Jackson Player produce. I don't think he's of the ceiling that somebody like Ika does, or even the floor of him, but he's a nice, decent player. This is way too early for him.
All right, so I'm going to make this a 3-position race: defensive tackle, safety, and wide receiver, unless you think otherwise. Is there a position I should slide in here, Dom?
No, I think those are probably the three. I mean, you can always think about doubling up at a position.
Sure.
You can also, again, always think about edge because you don't know what's going to happen with Carl Lawson.
Now, the last 2 videos I made broached the topic of Carl Lawson in some degree, and I have to say I'm leaning toward a nice restructuring. I'd like to see Carl Lawson remain here. Remember, he came off the Achilles injury. He was impactful, guys. He had his second most productive season. He had 24 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for a loss, and 7 sacks. And he was probably held 40% of the time. So I think coming off that injury, going into the second year, I honestly believe he's poised for an even, another jump. So I'd like to keep him around. Obviously, the $15 million is not going to fly. If he's unwilling to move, then we're going to have to lose him. But I'd love to see the Jets extend him 2 years and get it down to a $10 million number kind of a thing. Save that $5 million and be able to. And then in addition to Mosley, getting him down to the 10, 11 million, I think we could do some damage, man. We could save 15 million that way and still keep great players. As much as I like Clemens, and I do, as much as I like Huff, and I do, and Jermaine Johnson, I don't know if all those guys can be every down players, man. We don't know.
Yeah, listen, I was all on team cut Lawson, save the money, but I've kind of over the past couple weeks or so have really, really thought about it and thinking year 2, a full year 2 from away from that Achilles injury just might be, exactly what the doctor ordered, if you will.
Yeah, and he's a great teammate, man. He's good, dude. Now, I think a lot of Jets fans were disappointed because they were hoping to see 10 to 15 sacks, and I get it. But let's just remember, his impact is still there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He might not be getting home, still had 7, which is the second best, his second highest number in his career. But still, I think, just like you said, another year off the injury. We got to, at some point, start keeping people together. We got to keep these units together. Our defensive line is an important one, obviously. And even though we do have the youth to backfill, I'm still concerned, and I would rather keep them if it's realistic, Yeah.
Now, Rusty, I see your comment here. He says, that's ridiculous. Siaki Ika was always double teamed. How could Player not shine a little bit? Well, in theory that makes sense, but the double teaming of Siaki Ika, who usually lined up at 0 or 1 tech for the Baylor defense, isn't necessarily going to free up Player. It's going to free up the linebackers. And you didn't see the guys like Walcott, whoever. I can't even, again, off the top of my head, I can't even really think about those Baylor linebackers, but they're the ones who are really going to benefit from Siaki Ika being double teamed because there's not a guard coming down or a center coming down on them. They're free to play.
Yeah.
So that's just my take.
That's his take, All right. So, all right, let me look at the poll. What's going on here? We got a 3-position race. We got defensive tackle with 39%, safety with 52%, wide receiver slinking up the back door with 9%. We only got 47 votes, guys. So listen, I'm going to take a quick bio break. I'm going to leave Dom C solo style up here. And let's get some votes in the poll. We're at 53 votes, Dom. So let's get some votes in here. And when I come back, we'll close it down.
Before you click, just click on the safeties, and I'll talk a little bit about something because it looks like safety is gonna be the pick. So I'll talk about some of these safeties that are here on the board.
All right, here we go. We got it starts with Torrance, and hey, look, a favorite, Jamie Robinson. There he is.
Yeah, Jamie
All right.
Robinson.
I'll be right back. Here we go.
Enjoy. Jamie Robinson, guys. Another real standout at Mobile in the Senior Bowl. Flexible, versatile guy. Definitely can satisfy what we all consider that true free safety mold, that deep single high center field, but also has enough chops and did it a lot of Florida State, where he does play that overhang position, shoots gaps, blitzes on the outside, very, very solid in run fits as well. A very, very solid all-around player, somebody that I've grown to like very much. On top of that, he's an excellent at special teams, punt return and kick return as well. Jay Ward is an interesting prospect. So Jay Ward was an outside boundary cornerback when he started his collegiate career. Tall, 6'2", 6'3", 185 pounds, has some, it's going to take a little bit of time to really fill that body out, has the frame to take on some more size, but he moves very well. And he can line up as a free safety. He can line up on the slot, playing wide receivers on the slot, in man coverage. Those are two of the guys that I really, really like in this group. The kid from Alabama just didn't get a lot of reps. And again, I don't think that this is the area that's fourth round is where we're going to probably consider Hellman's. And my guess is that if we're choosing, we can keep this to a two-dog race, probably between Jamie Robinson and Jay Ward. That's just my opinion.
All right. I want to say hello to our good buddy Finnegan. What's up out there, buddy?
Hey, Jake.
Good to see you. All right. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and end this poll no matter where. Oh, it's close. Look at this. I'll give it 30 more seconds. Let's get us into the 70s and see where this goes.
Wow.
Currently,
look at that.
Safeties at 49, defensive tackles at 41%. So if you want one of those positions, come on in, get your vote in, and let's secure the spot.
Yeah, Joe Grana, Trey Dean was definitely much more of what we would consider a strong safety type in the Florida fit. I got to be honest with you, as a fan of the Gators, there's nobody on that defense, including Torrance, including Trey Dean, including Gervion Dexter, that really, really kind of did it for me. A very, very lackluster group. That's why I left Torrance off of this conversation here.
Yo Mama TV checking in. He says, it's okay. You don't have, you're late. It's okay. Another great job by Big D. That's Dom, I imagine. I want O-line, then wide receiver, then the best defensive available needs. Keep up the great work. Yeah, look, I don't know if it'll fall that way, but I got to say, I would be very happy if Joe Douglas just decides enough games. We're going to fix this offensive line with what we call overkill. And he just does it. Tackle, tackle, center, and then a safety, then a center and a guard. Like, I'm totally fine with that, man. I really am.
Yeah, that's
doubt it.
I would doubt that too.
I doubt it.
I just think that there's too many holes. I think, unless we're going to re-sign all of our pending unrestricted free agents, we there's too many holes to fill. We need to replace two linebackers, arguably one safety. Although if we didn't address safety and at least early, and then went in the draft and said, okay, a guy like Jamie Robinson, you're going to battle it out with Tony Adams, I'm fine with that, but so we need a free safety. We need two linebackers.
So on safety real quick. I got Jamie Robinson. I got Torrance. Did you say Jay Ward?
I did say Jay Ward. Yeah.
All right. So that's who I'm throwing up there. We got a 3-person race and the poll is active, everybody. Let's go. Let's make this one. I'm going to give you 1.5 minutes and we're going to get this one done. Let me just take a little quick peek here. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure we got the
no, I
we're talking. Here it is. So we got 3 picks. All right, 3 picks, 112. We're gonna get this one done in just over a minute now.
Okay.
We got how many votes? Oh, hey, Jamie Robinson cleaning house. Look at this. Look at this. Cleaning house there.
He was a nice guy too. He was a really pleasant young man to talk
Yeah,
to.
he was. He was great. That was one of my favorite interviews from you, Jamie Robinson.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Who dat?
Yeah, he says he LSU fan. He likes himself some Ward.
Yeah, listen, I like Ward too. What I like about him is that he can line up and run with wide receivers. He could just flat out cover him. I mean, like I said, he spent some time as an outside cornerback early in his career, so he's very versatile. I like versatile guys. They get a tick up or two in my ratings. If you can do more than just one thing, you deserve to be graded a little higher.
Yeah. IndyJet brings up a good point, man. We have a secret little weapon hiding in our roster bubble here. We have Chaz Surratt, who, don't forget, was a 3rd-round pick 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Minnesota just decided the new regime came in and cut a bunch of guys, including 2 3rd-round picks. So, Chaz Surratt's there. So we took him now. Having him on our team, he was here all year. He grooming, developing, as we say. Maybe he comes in and can compete for a starting position as well. I'd love to see that, though.
Yeah, but they always say the best ability is availability, and that's what Chaz Surratt has not been able to do, is stay healthy. That's been his biggest downfall, even from college.
Yeah, I think he was healthy all year on our practice squad, though. I mean, granted, it's not game, but that's a good sign.
I think he got hurt in the one game that we activated him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. All right, we're going to end this poll. Jamie Robinson just came in stomping around the joint. So we're going to go ahead and take him. Here he comes, and here it goes. All right, we got 2 picks left, everybody. Don't forget, we want to take long snapper and kicker.
Punter. Yeah.
Yeah, the punter, right, yeah. All right, so here's the big board. Let's take a look at the big board. I'll real quick, before we do that, just remind us, we got a tackle, we got a linebacker, we got a center, and we got a safety. Talk about balance. We can discuss wide receiver, maybe another interior offensive lineman, maybe a defensive tackle, everybody, and maybe an edge. So let's do that. Let's try to fit in what we didn't get. I'm going to throw a defensive tackle up there, Dom.
Okay.
As one of the options. What pick is this? Pick 145. Okay.
Yeah.
145.
And I think now is the time that we need to hone in on wide receiver as well. And I like that. I like the edge. I like the idea that you're bringing in the edge, because you still have some variables. Again, we're doing a mock draft in February, no free agency. We don't know who's moving where, this, that, the other thing.
Right.
Again, it's the the Trey McBride syndrome, where all these mocks previous to last year, previous to free agency, it's Trey McBride in the 2nd round or give me death. Free agency starts. We signed 2 tight ends. No one mentions Trey McBride ever.
That's again. Right. He was gone like a puff of smoke that you couldn't get through a draft, where you couldn't get through the 2nd round without Trey McBride.
Nope.
And
that will happen here again, guys. So the guys that we're talking about, Luke Whippler. Yeah, until we re-sign McGovern, and I'm just, again, hypothetical.
Right.
And then it's just like, all right, well, we don't need that,
Yeah. So Yo Mama says, what about moving AVT to tackle and draft the best center and guard we can get? Now, here's the thing about AVT. He clearly can play it, but I think that he's probably got a higher ceiling on the inside. And I think it would be better to get a true tackle on the outside and just keep AVT at that, either right or left, for, quite frankly. I mean, whatever side he ends up playing, I think he should be a guard. What do you think, Tommy?
Listen, I think I agree with you, Bean, but I think it's it's definitely a conversation that you have to have. Just say, and let's just speak in hypothetics here. Just say that you're at 13 and the 3 tackles that you have tiered off as, head and shoulders above the rest of them are off the board, right? So you go in a different route. It doesn't matter who you take. You take wide receiver, take safety, whatever. And then you come back and then you miss out on that whole second and third tier of tackles who I think are still good, capable starters. Maybe the play is, all right, let's load up on the interior and put AVT out in right tackle until we know what's the health of Max Mitchell or Becton. And then if they come out and they show that they're healthy, you can move, and kind of juggle and play your best five.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happened last year. I mean, when they looked at what we had, Becton's hurt, Dwayne Brown's hurt, Fanta's hurt, and they look around and they're like, well, the backfill at guard with Nate Herbig is stronger than the backfill, with Connor McDermott. And they said, you know what? We feel better about the guard on the inside, so move AVT to the outside. And that's exactly what we saw. So, I did feel nervous when they started putting him at right tackle. I'm like, I don't know, man. We're wearing this guy down.
He played great at right tackle.
So good.
That was the Pittsburgh game, right? He was at right, or was he at left in Pittsburgh?
I'm not sure. I think that was still left, but maybe not. Guys, we got 39 votes. Defensive tackle is running away with it. So if you want to get your vote in, we got 40 votes. We're going to go ahead and end this one in 30 seconds. We're starting to get a little bit later in the evening here, so we don't want to dilly-dally too long. So we're going to go ahead and end it. Get your votes in, guys. There's only 42 votes right now. Defensive tackles at 52%. Now, just so we're clear here, let's see what defensive tackles are here, Dom. Let's take a look. Oh, there he is, Jackson Player. We have Keandre Coburn. Yeah, I know. I always end up landing on Coburn. No, I do like him, honestly, but he's like that when you get into the mocks and everything. There's always like those players, you end up pulling in the fifth, sixth. It's like it just seems very consistent. So
I like Coburn. I like him as a prospect. I think he's a guy that can come in and be rotational. And he offers the Jets in particular something that we don't have, and that's that true run stuffing, big body defensive tackle. Now I know that the Jets just made a waiver claim yesterday, and they claimed a true zero tech nose tackle off waivers and were granted him from Seattle. Like his name is skipping my mind right now, but maybe that's a little foreshadowing to say Joe Douglas saying, hey, listen, the end of the Nathan Shepard era is coming to a close. We need to bring some big bodies in here. So to me, Coburn makes sense, more so than Player. Player's a 3-tech, probably even more so a 5-tech, more of a 3-4 end, defensive tackle end, something very similar in the mold of Leo Williams.
Okay. All right, I don't see the player. Let me see. Hiring. We hired a passing game coordinator. I gotta say, I am rubbed a little bit wrong with the DUI stuff. I am. I mean, look, we get rid of John Benton. He had the DUI last year, and I guess we felt it's important to have that kind of guy around, so we replaced him with another one. But I don't know. How do you feel about the new passing game coordinator, the former offensive coordinator of the Titans?
I was talking about this earlier before with Buffalo, and I think Jets fans can take it one of two ways. You got the optimistic Jet fan that says, "Hey, listen, they're going to look at the stats that suits their narrative, right?" And he's very effective in the red zone. Now, I'll say this between the offensive minds that we've brought in to be coaches this year. Saleh did what he said. He wanted to bring in veteran experienced coaches that he can kind of trust and lean on, and that's exactly what he did. He got a lot of experience with these 3 new additions on the offensive side. And they, both Hackett and both of the guys from Tennessee are very, very good with putting the ball across the goal line. Their red zone efficiency is really high. Now, Tennessee's offense last year, we took 2 of Tennessee's offensive coaches who were fired by Tennessee, because they had the 27th ranked offense DVOA. Now, was it their fault? Nah, they had Malik Willis playing quarterback and GreenBean playing wide receiver. and Gitmo Bob was,
Yeah.
lined up at tight end and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
they didn't have a lot of weapons. So, it's kind of hard to say if they were the real problem, but they thought of it big enough problem to fire both of them. So, to me, it's a non-issue. I really think it's going to be Hackett and his, controlling run first mentality in that West Coast scheme that's going to dominate. So
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, look, and this guy's got ties to Carr. Hackett has ties to Rogers.
Yeah.
There's a lot swirling around right about now.
Covered their bases. They covered their bases.
That's right. That's right. Now, Big Rush 2112 wants to know why even talk about the draft when we don't know what we have with the quarterback. Well, a Big Rush, what I'm going to say is this. Number one, it's fun. All right, so a lot of us like this, so there's that. But number two, this is an opportunity to learn about all the guys. This is what we're doing here. We try to, expose ourselves to the different prospects. Who's this? Who's, what about this guy compared to that guy? Who's better at this thing or the other thing? And this is an opportunity to do that. We still have a few months before the draft. Obviously, we don't know who a quarterback is, but in addition to that, we don't know who our free agents are. So lots of things change, but in the meantime, it's nice to gather up as much info as you can. So when it does get closer, you know what the hell you're looking at. You know what I mean? Like when the Jets start pulling up names, you're not like, who? I guess he's good. The Jets took him. We don't want to do that. So, all right, I'm going to end this poll. Defensive tackle runs away with it. So we'll do, I'll get defensive tackle up here.
Mm-hmm.
Here they are. I'm going to make it, I'm going to do three guys, Tom. I'm going to put Coburn, player, and you like Wooden or do you like Mustafar?
You know what? I get a full disclosure. I haven't done any work on Wooden, so I can't really speak to him all that well. I'd probably say Mustafar. I don't think he's just a guy in my opinion. He's a big body, but he lacks, he's kind of slow. He gets caught up a lot. He's another guy who I don't like guys that digress in their play on film from year to year, and he's one of the guys that this year just got worse. But he fits a bill in that run stuffing, big mold, but he's a guy that's going to really need to get coached up. But of the guys up here, those are the three I'd put on here.
Got it. So the poll is live, just so we can see. Mustafa's a 6'4", 328-pound defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We got player up there. He's 6 foot 293, a little bit lighter.
He's a 3 tech. But Baylor, like I said, they ran like a 3-3-5, and they wanted their edge, what they consider their ends, or in this case, player, to be quicker, to really get at the quarterback and free up, occupy offensive linemen so their linebackers could make plays. That's why Iko is so, such an anomaly, because he's a big guy, 360 pounds, always fighting double teams, but he was very, very fleet of foot. I mean, he got a lot of pressures on the quarterback. He's got a pass rush skill set in him.
Yeah. Now, just so we know, Keandre Coburn, I'll give you, he's 6'2", 346. So he's one of the bigger guys as far as the defensive tackle goes. And when you're looking for that run stuffer, one of the good traits that you like to see, just something that helps him out right off the gate, is being big. Big and heavy. You like to see that as a starting point. And Coburn is a very, very active player, has a mean streak. He's able to move the offensive lineman. Good, stays low. All those things. I happen to like him a whole bunch. Let's see. Indy Jets likes Mustafar. All right, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to give this one 10 more seconds. And let me see where we are.
It's a
watch. All right, we're going to end it. All right, here we go. So it's Coburn. All right. And we got one more pick. We're down to our last pick, everybody. So we have not taken a wide receiver. We have not taken an edge.
I think at this point you can really forget about the positional thing, and let's talk about best player available, who we think, and put the names up there. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. So look, let's look at some wide receivers.
Okay.
We'll start with that. We'll go through some positions. Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I like him.
Hey, there's Andre Losi. I still fucking can't say it. Iosivas.
Iosivas. Yes.
Yeah.
Both good players, both projects. Don't go any further. They got Tank Dell way too low on this board. Tank Dell is a second round, maybe. He's a top 50, top 60 talent. The fact that he's still on this board here. Trey Tucker, another guy. He's going to go a little later. He's probably a day 3 guy, but the talent here between Iosivas, Puka Nacua, Tank Dell. I mean, it's not even a question. I mean, I wouldn't even look at any other. You're not going to get the value that you're getting here in the receivers. But you want to look at the edges. Nick Herbig. Now Nick Herbig is Nate's little brother. All right.
Interesting.
They have him listed as an edge because that's what he was in Wisconsin. He played your typical stand-up outside linebacker in a 3-4 base. He's going to transition. He's going to play more of an off-ball linebacker in a 4-3 scheme. He's not going to be a sheer edge rusher. He's not a guy who puts his hand in the dirt and gets the quarterback, although he goes and gets the quarterback as good as anyone. Keon White, way too low. This guy is, he's getting first-round buzz. This is what I'm saying, Bean. Right. This PFN kind of positional order is all out of whack. They don't update it. That's the problem.
Yeah, they do. They do about halfway through. So I would say, I'd say like the beginning of March. They'll do it. They'll update it again, and then after the combine, they update it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw. You like Nick Herbig?
I like Keon White. Keon White's got legitimate first round buzz. I think Keon White is the best.
Keon White. Okay. All right, last pick. This is our last pick.
Guys, but I wouldn't even, if you're asking me, I wouldn't even put a poll up here because Tank Dell is the pick. Hands down, no brainer to me.
Yeah, well, you're not the guy making the decisions.
Yeah. And Diabate that Rusty's talking about, he's an interesting player. He's a transfer.
Who was that? What
linebacker, Mohamed Diabate. He's an interesting player. Again, somebody in the mold of Nick Herbig, who is utilized more so in college as an edge rusher, but is really going to transition to an off-ball linebacker in a 4-3 set. Now, Diabate's a transfer from Florida. He went to Utah, had a good season. And supposedly, from what I understand, and from what I heard, from reliable sources, not just from some guy on Twitter, but the Jets camp, coaches and scouts were all over him at the Shrine Bowl.
Okay, now who was that? I'm sorry, who was that?
Mohamed Diabate. He might not even be there.
Right.
He might be gone by now.
Okay, so look, I'm putting up. I'll put up Keon White. I put up Diabate. Now you said there was a wide receiver. Now, if I'm going to throw one up there, you like who was
Tank
it?
Dell. Tank Dell.
Okay, Tank Dell.
I think they have him as Nathaniel here, but
wide receiver. And give me one more option. Who's the guy you said that was going to be the guy? You said it doesn't even need to be a poll. It's this guy. Who was that?
Tank Dell.
All right, Tank Dell. All right, let me look here and see what we got. Let me see what we have here. We still got Kipper up there. Look at this. All right. I don't know any of these guys, honestly.
No one that really. Let's look at the core. Oh, Jake Haener.
Yeah, look at
Jake Haener, the Senior Bowl MVP.
There you go. Right.
Actually, all four of those top 5 guys were all at the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
One was less impressive than the next.
All right, you want to throw a quarterback up? Let's throw Jake Haener up there.
Throw Jake Haener up there. I think.
All right, just for fun.
He'll be gone by this point. I mean, Haener and Max Duggan and probably Badgett, they're going to be draftable prospects. Malik Cunningham, maybe not. He might be a UDFA, but I think the other guys are draftable prospects.
All right. Well, all right, guys. The last poll is up there. Let's jump on this one. Let's get our votes in so we could start seeing our letter grades. Now, Gitmo Bob had a comment for you there, Dom. You said he was going to be he was a tight end on the Titans. He says, "Hey, man, I always played linebacker, buddy." So, hey, lots of linebackers are tight ends, man. That's a pretty. Those guys do translate well back and forth a lot of the time. Okay, so all right. Well, the fastest receiver in the draft just might be Trey Tucker. We're going to see.
Correct.
We're going to see. Who dat says grab Tank Dell as soon as possible.
Yeah, the guys, if you don't know who Tank Dell or Nathaniel Tank Dell is, do yourself a favor. Go watch him watch some clips. I'm sure you can find some highlights on YouTube or whatnot. The guy led the nation in receptions. He is just as fast and as quick in and out of his breaks as anybody I've ever seen. He's not the biggest guy, he's not he's not Denzel Mims in size, but he's very, very capable of handling outside receiver, slot receiver. He's a guy that you could put in the backfield a la Deebo Samuel and hand the ball off to him, guy that's going to be useful on those jet sweeps and stuff like that. Just a really, really good football player.
So so just so we're aware, 5'10", 155, man.
He moves. Yeah. I'm telling you, he moves though, boy.
155, everybody. Harley, Dom's saying no. He doesn't think he'll be here at this point.
No, he's going to be gone by the second round.
Tammy says Keon White is the pick. So that's it. Get your votes in. Dom, you're voting for Tank Dell. Tank Dell's running away with it, guys. I'll give it another few seconds. There's only 37 votes, but it's he's
Jake Haener's getting some love. I like it.
Look at that. Wow, he's number 2. You guys are nuts. I'll tell you. Well, we're just but we're starved.
Yeah.
We want a damn quarterback.
Yeah. Listen, you can't go wrong with any of those guys, really. I mean, I if you told me that it was going to be the edge from, the edge White, I'd be fine with that as well.
All right, we're going to go ahead and end this. So it's Tank Dell, or as you said, Nathaniel Dell. Here he comes, everybody. We got ourselves a nice wide receiver to wrap it up. Now we're going to let the draft finish up, guys. I will show you what we have. Who's Mr. Irrelevant? Who's next year's Brock? They went away. Brock Purdy. All right, here's our draft, everybody. Okay. We started it out with offensive tackle Pete Skoronski. Now, let's not forget, we took 0 trades. We didn't even entertain one this draft. That was our theme. We got offensive tackle Peter Skoronski, followed by linebacker Drew Sanders. Then we have center Luke Whippler. Jamie Robinson, the safety out of Florida State, followed by defensive tackle Keandre Coburn. And we wrapped it up with wide receiver Nathaniel or Tank Dell out of Houston. Let's get your letter grades in the chat here. And Dom, I'm going to start with you. Give me a letter grade, buddy.
Oh, boy. Well, listen, you got my favorite offensive tackle in the whole draft. You got my favorite linebacker in the whole draft. You got 2 guys that I really, really like in Whippler and Robinson. And you got 2 guys that were just, in my opinion, good value with these last 2 guys. So I'm going to go just because we passed on Kalijah Cansey when we should have taken him at 74. I'm going to go B+.
B+ from Dom C. Tammy McDaniel coming in first with an A, followed by Harley with an A, followed by Jordan Victor with an A.
Look at that.
Gitmo Bob with an A.
Wow, that's the best score that I've ever seen Gitmo Bob ever given.
I think that might be the first A from Gitmo Bob. Well done. Amazeballs. High Loss Boy with an A. Rusty Spooner with a solid B. Superfan with a B-. Mitt Flair with a B+. Indy Jets C+ at best.
Which one don't you like? Who don't you like, Indy Jets? He must not like Skoronski. I bet you he doesn't like Skoronski.
Yeah, well, right, and that would be important, right? If you don't like the top pick, that's going to taint everything. E Boogie with a B+, Toxic D with a B+, Matt Marger with a B+, D Santana checking in with a B. You got Braden in New Zealand. What's up, Braden?
What's up, Braden?
Big fat A from him. Cyprian Rogers B+, Hank with an A-. William Pineda with a C+, Scott with an A, Squirmy Weasel
B-.
Ant Jets A-, Tommy Clifford with a B. And I will give you guys, I'm with Dom. I think it's a solid B+. I just miss my trades. I can't get past it. I love a good move or two. Yeah. Maybe squeeze out another second, you know what I mean? Something like that. But I really do like I like this draft. I think if we came away with this, I'd be very, very happy. I would like to see a safety a little higher up. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's a greater need. Depending, I mean, look, if we lose Quincy and Quan, then maybe, I do like Sherwood. But anyway, William Sprague with a B+. All right, guys, we are going to end this. Tommy Clifford says not a fan of Skoronski, to be honest. Hope he does well. Yeah. Jason Zayas, with a B+.
I hope he does really well if he's a Jet.
Yeah.
If not, he can go scratch for all I care.
If not, I'm rooting against them, Dom, right? I'm rooting against them. All right, man. Look, we're going to wrap this up. Lucky Luke with a B. Indy says 13 and 74 are the only ones he does like. All right, so that's 13 Skronsky and Luke Whippler. He doesn't like the linebacker up top.
Jamie Robinson's a good player. At 112 is a steal too. So
look into these guys, Indy. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We're right about at the midnight mark. Not bad. I, for one, am exhausted, my good friend. Dom, you got anything you want to let anybody know about you got coming up? I mean, you got all sorts of stuff kind of on the back burner in the works, but anything that they can check out from you, maybe your Twitter page or whatever.
Well, you can always check me out on Twitter. I'm usually, I shouldn't say usually, I'm always very active. It's at DC_NY Jets. Check me on Twitter. I also co-host a show on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on Jets Chaos channel, draft related, where we go down and break down these prospects position by position. This Sunday, if you're interested in joining us, come check out. Look at my top 10 list of the wide receivers. And I do want to add, shortly after the combine, which is in a few weeks, I will be putting out for the public my first ever full draft guide, where I have over 300 prospects broken down and ranked by positional groups. If you're a subscriber, if you're one of the beanbaggers, one of the stream beaners, you will get one, courtesy of me and Bean himself. So
yeah. And I'll tell you what, I've been, he sent me a few positions and it's awesome, man. Dom's the real deal. And he's just getting started, everybody. Dom C, he's the shit. So, all right, man. Well, listen, guys, don't forget to hit like on your way out, please. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's greatly appreciated. And hey, forgot to mention, why don't you go save yourself 20% on Liquid IV, everybody? Don't forget, the link is in the description, as is the link for Manscaped. Save yourself 20% on all those products. Manscaped promo code is GreenBean. The Liquid IV promo code is GreenBean Jetsfan, and you can save some money like that. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Dom for being here as well. With that all said, I sincerely hope you all have a great night. We will see you next time.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Donnie Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the draft all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell.
And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner, Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
As a Hall of Fame voting group, we need to re-examine some careers. And I think we need to re-examine the career of Joe Klecko.
Dang, I want to see how I do against this guy. Because he was the best.
Left guard can't handle Klecko. Just knock the crap out of the guy across from you.
Intensity, bottom line. Never take a play off.
He was incredibly strong.
His just pure raw strength.
He was the same every play. Ball zone.
It was an incredible accomplishment to be dominant at one position in the NFL in your career, but to be dominant at 3 positions